And how are you?
I'm doing well. Where are you calling in from today?
I am actually Mecca Imani from New Jersey. I am the co-founder and CEO of GroTru. We are a resource platform for Black and Latinx entrepreneurs. And as you said, we do receive 2.4% of venture capital combined, but that actually lowered last year and it's now 1.2% of venture capital combined. So our work here is even more important now. Um, I am a social worker. I was a social worker for about 8 years. I recently left social work to pursue GroTru full time. And the reason I wanted to, I guess, I call it my from social work to from social work to social tech story. And the reason
Mm,
why I did that is because after the George Floyd just tragedy, I realized our community needed more, and I thought initially as a social worker, I thought it was therapy. But after doing some customer research, I realized we need money. We need more money invested into our community, more education invested in our community, so that we can, meet the equity goal that we want to together. I'm not sure if this was the introduction part or for me to kind of go all in about GroTru.
we're into it. Here we are. I love that. Thank you, Mecca. And it's yeah, like you said, it's a 1% lower. That was news to me. That is horrifying
Yes,
and terrible.
yes, it's actually 1.2% now.
Yeah, that's yeah, more than a percent lower, which is just that's awful. That's truly
It's
awful. And yeah.
it's heart-wrenching, honestly, to see. But that's why we have communities like GroTru, funds such as Fearless Fund, communities such as Digital Undivided to help, just help us succeed and grow and scale our
Mhm.
businesses, because in our community we just don't have that type of education or resource to start a business just based off this great idea that we don't have the family connection sometimes to actually bootstrap and have our parents or grandparents or aunts and uncles help us start our businesses. We just don't have that in our communities, and it's time for us to.
Yeah, yeah, it's overdue. It's overdue
Mhm.
time. Yeah. So I love hearing about your story there a bit, that you were in social work and therapy, and you also realized that I would say it's both, right? We need both. So it's so beautiful that you have this human experience that's deeply rooted in empathy, and you have this understanding of this, systemic wealth that is just, been blockaded for a lot of communities. Specifically, we were talking about Black and Latinx communities.
Absolutely. So we started off as a therapeutic social networking platform because
Mm,
obviously after George Floyd and during COVID and everything, therapy was a big thing. And honestly, a lot of money was being invested into these therapeutic apps. Um, but after doing some customer research and just figuring out what exactly our community needs, we realized that in the Black and Latinx communities, we are very our foundation is built a lot on families. So it's not taboo for us to have someone to lean on.
mm,
Yes, therapy is great, but also it may not be the answer to everything. And therapy is not for everybody, nor is it accessible to everybody, right?
mm.
So I had to get into the root of the issue. Okay, yes, we need to talk to someone. Everyone needs to talk to someone. But why do we need to talk to someone? You know what I mean? So I really had to
Mhm.
dive deep into our history and figure out the real struggle, the root of our real struggle. And we need therapy because we are faced with so much systematic racism that that's where it starts. We have to start there before we can kind of help ourselves emotionally, because if that issue isn't solved, then we're going to constantly need therapy and medicine and things to help our community just stand still, not even grow, just that'll just help us stand still into where we are,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. So tell me more about uh, go through and what does it look like when you're helping people? What is that process like?
So for GroTru, we're a resource platform for Black and Latinx entrepreneurs. So essentially, you'll go on our platform. and you'll be able to find grants, accelerators, different funding opportunities for Black and Latinx entrepreneurs specifically. We update those grants literally twice a week for new ones, and then we put old ones on the back burner. We also have on-demand courses on our platform, marketing, financial projections, how to go from idea to investment stage on our platform, because that's what we do. We help Black and Latinx entrepreneurs go from idea to investment stage, because sometimes we don't even know how to start our businesses. We don't even know, how do I form a C corp? How do I form an LLC? Do I need one right now? How do I market myself? How do I even come up with different financial projections? How do I build a community? How do I promote myself? How do where do I start with these things? So we provide on-demand courses for that, as well as us doing virtual and community events to build our community ourselves and help other Black and Latinx entrepreneurs build a network to help them grow and scale as well.
Yeah. So you've actualized the thing you wanted to see in the world. How did you do all of that, Mecca?
Um,
Because this didn't exist yet. You made it. So how did you get here?
that's a great question. Literally perseverance.
Mm,
I've always been I've been a, I hate to say dreamer, because that just seems so, that's the last thing it is. I always wanted more. If I had one
mm,
job, I always wanted to get a better job, or a better position in that job. If I finish a bachelor's degree, I'm going to go get my master's degree. I've always been a very forward. And after pursuing my first career social work, I'm like, okay, I want to do more. So
mm,
GroTru was my more. After figuring out what exactly my community needed, I was like, how can social work on a bigger scale? How can I become
mm-hmm.
that ultimate social worker? And
Yeah.
that was my thing. That's what the entire time, building GroTru from start to now, that was my entire mindset. Because when you're a social worker, you don't have those entrepreneurial skills. I'm not good at marketing. I don't know how to promote myself. I kind of hate social media. So it's kind of hard. So I had to
Yeah.
build this separate community of entrepreneurs to kind of teach me and help me along this journey, because I had such a network of therapists, social workers, counselors, teachers. It was just a totally different ball game that I had to really kind of go into entrepreneurship as a student. I'm a student again. I was back in school, and building my network, and that's how I did it. I didn't stop because
Mm.
I knew I needed it. I knew the community needed it. Um, and I don't know, God, literally, literally.
That's beautiful. I love hearing that. And what's so wonderful, and it seems so clear to me with your connection to helping other people as a social worker, as a therapist, and then you were able to identify this missing in you and know that you were not alone in that experience. And so you set out for yourself, and now you're giving back. And as you're continuing to grow this journey for yourself, you just keep sharing what you're learning, which is truly inspiring and wonderful.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you bet. Of course, thank you. So can you share with me some of the barriers that Black and Latinx founders face in starting businesses and getting funding? You mentioned just navigating all these new things. Do I get an LLC? You only get 1.2% of funding is out there. So what are these barriers like? How do you navigate it? And are there other barriers we haven't touched on yet?
What are these barriers like? It feels literally like, you ever have a gate, or even a door you're trying to open, and you have so many keys on your key ring that you're like, I know the key is here, but I just can't find it. That's
Mm-hmm.
literally what the what the Black and Latinx founder journey feels like. It's like, I know I
Mm,
have it, but I just can't quite figure it out. What does that journey look like? It looks like you doing your research, you literally Googling, and people might think this is the most simplest thing. It's literally you Googling how to find funding as a Black founder. That's how I started. Literally, I
mm,
City Nation. I didn't know about Digital Undivided. I didn't know about Y Combinator. I didn't know about certain resources that help founders, So it's literally you taking that initiative for yourself and looking what companies support Black founders, what companies are partnering with Black organizations to increase Black entrepreneurship. Simple as that. Uh, as far as gaining the funding, that's still on that journey myself. It's genuinely about us having access to certain investors, us knowing about certain investing firms. Um, Certain companies do not, especially in today's climate, want to invest in social entrepreneurship, especially with Black and Latinx founders, and especially with um, companies that are specifically targeting Black and Latinx founders or diverse founders because we see what's going on at Fearless Fund. They're being sued for just they're trying to vanish DEI as a whole, for
Mm-hmm.
it not to exist. So um, the Black Latinx founder journey to funding is still extremely hard. So a lot of us are bootstraps, but there are certain accelerators, especially and grants that are specifically made for us. So that's what I've been leveraging on and
Mm-hmm.
focusing on, those different grants and accelerator opportunities to get us, out of this bootstrapped climate.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious, as your focus is with Black and Latinx founders and groups, and then there's also, we've been talking a lot about today as well, this intersectionality as well. Maybe one person identifies more as this or this as that, and or both. Do you find that harder to get what you need if you're like not if you're not identifying with one thing, or does it open up more doors? Talk to me about intersectionality in the process of getting funding.
So that's a great question too. All right, that was a battle that we hit, when creating GroTru and finding our niche, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what community do we want to serve? We've even got to a point where we were like, do we want to just focus on women? Because a lot of companies do that. They'll focus on diverse women, or they'll say women of color. Yes, it is harder when you are focusing on one group, especially a minority group. Not everyone wants to support that, especially with social impact. I don't know. Social entrepreneurship is extremely hard. Not
Mm.
everybody cares about different social issues. So you have to find that investor or investment firm or accelerator that are specifically looking to help these groups, to help these marginalized groups. But if it's a lot of people or a lot of investment firms and accelerators are focused on a product, or more focused on climate change and AI. We're not focused on that social impact right now. We're just
Mm-hmm.
not, unfortunately. So yes, it is more difficult when you're focused on, depending on the group, it is more difficult when your niche is focused on a certain group of people. Yes.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
also could be a win for you somewhere.
Right. Because if it's that might be the niche that someone else is very passionate about, and hopefully that's the investor that you can
Exactly.
be connected with. Yeah.
Yes. So it's about finding that right investor that is specifically looking to make money off of this, because even social
Mm-hmm.
impact is hard as well, because it's hard to make money when making impact socially. We all know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm not, an investor for us wouldn't be in this to make the $1 trillion. This wouldn't be their $1 trillion investment, but it would be a great investment. It'd be an investment contributing to social change immensely. So contributing to um, racial equity tremendously. So just finding that right group of people.
Yeah. And so go through you are supporting founders from idea to investment. Can you talk to me about that? What issues do founders face at various stages in their entrepreneurial journey?
Yes. So a lot of us, black or brown, or doesn't matter what color you are, we often come up with great ideas. I want to create a brush that vibrate on my head, or I wish you'll be at a restaurant, like, these chairs should do this, or we all have bright ideas. We just don't know how to execute. So that's where GroTru comes in. We'll start with, okay, if it's not, I tell my founders all the time, it's not an idea if you didn't write it down. It doesn't exist until you write it down. I tell them that all the time.
Mm,
Now, this idea that I tell this to my founders too. If you aren't losing sleep over it, forget about it. If you aren't crying about it, forget. No, seriously, because you aren't going to continue to execute. Like, you have to lose sleep
yeah,
over this. You have to
yeah.
be stressed about this. This has to keep coming in your mind. Daily. This your friends need to be annoyed about it. If I don't hear
Yeah,
if I don't
yeah.
hear that, then I'm gonna assume you're not passionate about it, because, like I said, I'm literally still a bootstrap company. Still trying to make the dream come true. Although, literally, my specific this companies that literally do what I do are being sued. In the midst of
Hmm.
adversity, I'm still going. So I
Yeah.
tell my founders, so what does that look like? Okay, I have an idea. Let me go on GroTru. I tell my people, find their community. Where are the people, one, you're servicing, and so your potential customer, where are the people you're servicing, and what are the people doing that you want to do? Meaning, find your
Mm,
idols. You have to study
hmm.
these people. What do they do every day? What kind of podcasts are they going on? What are they eating? What does their daily routine look like? And not only do you want to do that with your potential counterparts, but also your customer. What is your customer eating every day? What is your customer doing every day, so that you can literally hone in on this community? Because I got lucky, and obviously I'm served. My customer base is Black and Latinx founders. I'm already a part of that community. It's not much I have to do to go out and look for them. I know where they are. Another person, they may be creating a company that solves some type of climate change issue, but they're a social worker just like me. They might have to go out and meet scientists. They might have to go and meet, it may look different for everyone. So after you find your community, after you studied your customer, now we need to come back and do some customer interviews. And it's just it's literally a timeline on how to get to, from literally having this idea to have a full blown functioning community, website, whatever your community looks like, whatever your product looks like, for you to be ready to go speak to an investor, create literally creating your financial projections, creating your pitch deck, creating, and that's multiple pitch decks, because we can't have one, all on our platform.
Wow, that's so awesome. So many resources, and like you said, there's so many intricacies to this process that
Yeah.
have been gate kept for a long time. It's just like, if you don't know, you're not going to know, and you're not part of the club, and there's no way in. And to have that guide, to have that mentorship that you're providing is a game changer for people.
No, it really is. And one thing, I went to Amazon's reInvent. I'm not sure if people are familiar with that, but they do this tech conference every year in Vegas. And it was a lot of men. And obviously, we know when you're going to a tech event, you're going to be around the tech bros. That's what we call them, the
Hmm.
tech bros. We know
Oh
that.
yeah.
But it was just extremely eye opening of how just, and they tried to be diverse, but
Mm,
it just wasn't working. And it's just like, okay, it just made me, work harder when I came home, get a little louder about just being inclusive in this space, because I can't imagine, once it is a more diverse community, the impact we could make all together, like what
yeah.
different tech companies could come out together after this.
Yeah, the diversity makes us stronger. It makes our ideas more interesting. When there's more backgrounds in the room, the better. I don't know how many times we have to say at Power to Fly, like, it's in the numbers. Just
Yeah,
look at
that's
the
very,
numbers. There's more
very true.
diversity in the room, the product does better.
Hmm. Very true.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious, are there any success stories that you want to share with us, with maybe some founders you've been working with that you're really excited about?
Yeah, I mean, just different. Just proud of the New Jersey ecosystem and the community I've built from that. because I didn't know tech was, growing in New Jersey, but they are doing a lot of work in North Jersey, and I'm very proud
Mm,
of that community, and it's really growing. And to be a part of it, we had our first Newark Tech Week for the first time in a long time, and for me to be a part of that, the first year it came back is just incredible. Like it was just
mm.
it was just super incredible. Like to be a part of a tech week, like come on. So that's a win. That's definitely a win I would love to share. And just from our events, I find that our courses are great, but we can't really track our successes much from our courses unless people are coming back and letting us know. Um,
Right.
but our events, marketing, financial forecasting, ideation, whatever it is, do really great because we have that not one on one, but more personal opportunity with our founders to teach them how to build whatever idea they have or how to continue building whatever business they're already in. So those
Mm,
moments are my favorite. Those light bulb moments, those moments of
mm.
inspiration, because that's genuinely all it is, to keep going,
Right.
literally.
Yeah. Yeah. And are there, so you talked about these workshops and webinars and events that you're hosting. What are some of those events that you have that you've done, or some that also that are in the pipeline that you are most proud of?
So yeah, our most the event that I'm most proud of is honestly our Newark Tech Week event. We did a workshop on idea to investment stage, and that was really, we got a lot of great feedback from that,
Mm,
and a lot of founders, told us how inspired they were to keep going. And a lot of times they feel as though they're not the person to do it, but we're here. We really, we realize that once we tell them like you are the one, it's on from there. We really always say we really don't do the work. We just provide them with the resources, and they kind of just do their own job from there. Um,
hmm.
I'm sorry, I forgot the question. Did I answer
Oh,
it?
yeah. Oh, you're good. You're good. Good. Yeah, because you were talking about the Newark
Oh
event
yeah,
that
yeah, that
you're
was our
very excited about, and like workshops, and you got good feedback. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that was my favorite. And I also like, we do spitball virtual events every month, where you kind of, it's like a spitball board where you kind of just spit ideas at a board. Tech, we're not spitting at a board, but we're just throwing out ideas virtually,
Yeah.
how we can maximize them. So whether that's someone building another value prop for their company, or wanting to add something new to whatever they already have, or starting something new, how we can make that better as a community, or solidify it a bit more
Mm,
for that person.
awesome.
Those are my
Well,
favorite.
oh yeah, that's awesome. It's great to hear. We only have a few minutes left, and you touched on how a lot of companies that are taking DE&I initiatives and on these missions are being sued right now. And so there's a lot of challenges, and DE&I is being scaled back across the board. We've seen there's been this huge backlash, unfortunately. So looking ahead with these huge challenges on the roadmap right now that are currently happening, what how do you envision go through that and to help Black and Latinx entrepreneurs in the next few years? And what is on your roadmap and your priorities right now to focus and powering through this?
Do you really want to know my answer to
I
that?
do. I do.
My honest answer to that is, did MLK give up? Did Malcolm
Mm,
X give up? Did Rosa, you know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? So I
mm-hmm,
literally have I literally look at them, no lie, every day, because
mm-hmm,
they have millions of reasons to give up. They're literally risking their lives every day. Why would little old me stop? Because
mm,
if they had stopped, where would I be? Where would we be? We wouldn't have this conversation right now. So regardless of who's suing who, I don't care. Because guess what? They were thinking, regardless of who's killing who, I don't care. I have to keep going. So I have to genuinely think like my ancestors. I can't focus on, Fearless Fun being the example, because that's exactly what it is, the example, unfortunately, of what can happen once we do together as a community and try to uplift one another.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the Malcolm X mentality. I have the MLK mentality. I have, the Mamba mentality of to never stop. I have to keep going. I'm no like I have to.
Yeah. Standing on the shoulders of giants, right?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the way to do it, Mecca. I mean, that is awesome. It is so awesome and so inspiring to hear. And just knowing that, hearing you how driven you are to pursue to continue, no matter what, no matter what.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I
And
appreciate it.
oh yeah, of course. So in these last couple minutes, is there anything that you would like to share with maybe entrepreneurs that are in the Black and Latinx communities that are starting out, that are looking for help? What would you like them to know?
Yes, absolutely. Join our platform whenever you have a chance. It's free, simple. All you have to do is create a login and you'll have full access to our grants and accelerator opportunities. Feel free to email my co founder or myself. Her name is Ayla Carlin. She's actually in Denmark right now. She's originally from Australia. Um, but we will happily respond to any emails regarding any questions you may have regarding your business or just starting. Join the platform and you have access to on-demand courses. They aren't free, but the price is right. Trust me. And just you'll have access to a great community. So just
Mm,
join us. Feel free to email me, Mecca at GroTru.com. Our website is GroTru.com. Literally, GroTru app on all platforms. So,
mm. Mecca, if you could give yourself one piece of advice before you started this journey, go back in time, what would it be?
girl. um, ooh, I would tell her it's not even advice because I honestly
Mm,
wouldn't know what to still till this day because I like I said I have the tenacity I have the willpower so and that's really what it takes. But I would tell myself to be patient and that it won't be easy. Um,
mm,
because I will say school was always easy to me. High school, college, even that was I could read a book and answer whatever questions.
mm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
that always came easy for me. But entrepreneurship was something I really had to work on and change myself for. And social work, I didn't have to do that at all. So
mm.
that's one thing I would tell myself that it won't be easy. But stay patient, stay diligent, and it'll come into fruition.
Mecca Imani, it's been such a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you for making the time today.
No, thank you. It's been a pleasure speaking.
Okay, take care. Stay warm out there in New Jersey. I'm in New
Yeah,
York, so I feel you.
yeah.
Okay, take care now.